Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to start with a question. So this afternoon, one of my students asked me these questions. Anyway, I invite questions, especially from the emails, so that if you ask questions from the email, then I have record, so that I know what to teach, right? I think it's a good. Happy to get those questions. And then many people think that they are making trouble to me if they ask questions. So I don't think so. But of course, very long questions, very complicated questions. So I think if you, especially Monday and Tuesday, I'm a little bit free. So I can answer with the telephone. So actually writing for me is very difficult. So the question is, Dr. Rupa Kathin's model shows dreamless sleep, waking state, and samadhi states. The later I will show with the chart again. So my first question is this model applicable to functional consciousness, Kriya Chaita? The second question is, functional consciousness produce impulsion or jhana? A very good questions. I think many of you, already understand this one, but anyway, it's good to repeat. So regarding with the functional consciousness, it's very important. As you know, according to Abhidhamma, the functional consciousness is the consciousness that arises in the minds of arahants, right? The Buddha, Vichika Buddha. The reason is they do not have defilements in their mind. They do not have craving and ignorance in their mind. So according to dependent origination, if we learn dependent originations, so someone who do not have craving, tanha, ignorance, avijja, so there is no karma formation. Karma means good and bad actions, wholesome and unwholesome deed, right? Kusala and akusala. But of course they still function, right? After Buddha attained enlightenment, he go one place to another for 45 years. He did a lot of activities, right? We call it function. Instead of calling those one wholesome actions, we call it functional actions or functional consciousness, right? So the point here is, so therefore I quoted some Sutta that, so if we do something without craving and without ignorance, even normal people, even ourselves, functional consciousness can arise, right? And then here, the first question is this model applicable to functional consciousness? Of course, all these one. Actually, Mr. Rupa Kathin give the three model of the mind process. So the first one is dreamless sleep. It's called we call it bhavanga, right? Bhavanga. and waking state. Another one is samadhi state. So samadhi state is the one we are learning now, right? The one we are learning now. So this is the model put forward by Lokapala Sayadaw. If you click on the link, so you can listen his talk. It's very, very good one, I would say. For those who are meditating, and then you should listen that one. So actually, Mr. Lokapala Sayadaw is a serious practitioner of Buddhism. And not only a scholar, but also a real practitioner. So for that reason, his writings are very, I would say that trustworthy, right? Trustworthy. So here, dreamless states. This one is when we are waking, before we sleep. Our mind is functioning, and we close our eye. Then we stay thinking something, right? Our mind is still functioning. Then before you sleep, you may have a dream, right? But your mind is still functioning, not in deep bhavanga, still functioning. But when you go asleep, when you fall asleep, no dream at all. So your function, your senses are not working, even your body not working, right? So even though somebody is making a lot of noise, no sleeping. So your senses are not working, right? Only the mind, the six senses, we call it the mind, right? The mind is working. So Abhidhamma define that. So that bhavanga the life continuum is because of our past karma, right? It's still going on even though we are sleeping, right? So therefore, it's very stable one. But when we get up, when we awake, then mind start to function. The red color one are connected with our five senses, connected with our six senses. Six sense base, right? Six sense base. So this one is the waking state. Normal time, our mind is functioning. Then the red color one is the process of mind that are connected with current six senses, six sense base, right? Six sense base. But between the mind process, active mind process, we also have light continuum, a lot of light continuums in between, right? For those who are mindful, for those who are always awake, they have less bhavanga. For those who are very lazy, all the time sleepy, then a lot of bhavanga. Like this, right? The next one is why we are meditating, why we are mindful, especially in jhana state, right? So Mr. Lokapala Sayadaw do not use the word jhana, he just used samadhi. So that means not only jhana, but also even before we attain jhana, sometimes we are very stable state of mind, right? So we can call it, overall we can call it samadhi. So in that level, you can see that very long stretch of red line, right? So that means our mind is very active, but very stable, Just look like dreamless sleep, right? Bhavanga. So you may notice that the bhavanga, the line is under, right? It's not active. But regarding with the samadhi or jhana, it's active. The mind is active. By that time, you have mindfulness, you have concentrations, you have affect, a lot of things. So these are functioning actively, right? These are mind process. So within jhana, within powerful samadhi, there is no bhavanga at all. Normally here, in the waking state, you may see that after red color, and then green color, red color, like this, right? The mind is not stable, going like this, just like a wave, right? Just like a wave. But when you fall asleep, in deep sleep, your mind is stable, but not walking, not active, an active mind, right? But when you are in samadhi, so there is no bhavanga at all, continuous mindfulness, continuous samadhi or concentrations, very active, right? So the question here is, this more applicable to functional consciousness? Why not? Of course. Functional consciousness is also, maybe I will explain that for those even who became arahant, so if they want to attain jhana, they have to practice. Suppose Venerable Sariputta or the Buddha, right? And they're living in normal life, normal time. But when they want to attain jhana, of course they have to practice again. Practice me as a Buddha, of course, very quick, because it's very clever in jhana, right? So they have to still practice. In the normal time, their mind is like a waking state. Same thing. But of course, the Buddha has less bhavanga. But still have a bhavanga. But when the Buddha is in a jhana state, this one. So by that time, a lot of functional consciousness. So we have two types of functional consciousness. The functional consciousness that are connected with sensory perception. So when the Buddha is awake in the waking state, waking state, right? Waking state, while the Buddha is preaching the Dhamma, and he has functional consciousness that are connected with sense field. Because he's seeing, right? He's talking. So while the Buddha is walking, same thing. So that is called sense field functional consciousness, right? Sense field functional consciousness. But when the Buddha is entering into jhana, so that means functional consciousness as well. But that is a fine material functional consciousness. Different, right? Different. But of course, this is a mental process that can apply to everyone. But if you attain jhana, the same thing. But if you are ordinary worldling or trainees, then you will be wholesome, right? Wholesome consciousness, not functional consciousness, according to Abhidhamma. But of course, when you are arahant, that will be functional consciousness, right? Functional consciousness. So that means this mental process are applicable to functional consciousness as well, right? Let me see that question. Of course, functional consciousness produces impulsion. So later I will show you. So actually this is the process. I don't need to teach, right? This one actually sense door process. So if it is a worldling, puthojana and trainee sikha, so the impulsion will be wholesome consciousness. Impulsion will be, javana will be wholesome consciousness, right? If this mental process occurs in the minds of arahant, so that will be functional consciousness. The impulsion or javana will be functional consciousness. So that means functional consciousness or javana, produce, right? Sorry. The functional consciousness produce javana, right? But functional consciousness, it says, is javana, right? Actually, javana actually means powerful force. Powerful force. So the mind is not powerful up to determining. But of course, in the bhavanga level, is the less powerful. Then the vibration, bhavanga, and adverting, sense consciousness, receiving, investigating, determining. So actually it became powerful, you know. So when the mind arrived at the time of determining, very powerful. But of course, jhana or impulsion is much more powerful, the most powerful mind. For that reason, so when we are angry, unwholesome consciousness, unwholesome jhana, right? Very powerful. So when you want something, very powerful, it is unwholesome consciousness. Sometime, not sometime, right now you are listening to the Dhamma, right? Very powerful. So wholesome jhana, wholesome consciousness, that is jhana, right? As a jhana. For that reason, so if it is in the minds of Arahant, the Buddha and Vijaya Buddha, impulsion or jhana will be functional consciousness, right? Functional consciousness, very active, but very active without ignorance and craving. That's very important, right? So let's Thursday I teach about two type of speech that the Buddha used. So one type is the truth. Honestly, the speech is the truth and beneficial, not welcome to others, right? Actually, the Buddha is sometimes talking very harsh word to Venerable Devadatta, right? Venerable Devadatta. On other occasion also, the Buddha used very strong word. The reason is, it is truth and also beneficial. By that time, you know, the mind is very powerful. It is jhana, but without anger. Without anger, right? Without anger. Of course, the best one, what the Buddha used is, number one, is truth and beneficial, as well as welcome to others, pleasant to listen. This is the best one the Buddha used, right? The Buddha used. So what I want to say is, unpleasant to the listener. But it is jhana, he is talking with functional consciousness, but without ignorance, without anger or craving, right? So therefore we have to know that. This one is mind-door process. So in the mind-door process, there is no investigation, no determining. So after vibration of bhavanga, after arrest bhavanga, then stop. Then adverting to the object. Then after that, impulsion or jhana. Then after that, two retentions, right? So this is a mind-door process. Mind-door process. Actually, last week I didn't show this one. So this is the process of mind process when somebody is attaining jhanas. Attaining jhanas. As you know, the jhana consciousness. So we have 27 rupa and arupa jhana consciousness. And also we have a Lokapala Sayadaw, right? Subrahmanian consciousness. So all these are connected with the mind. 6 things. Nothing connected with 5 doors. 5 doors, right? 5 doors. So here also, when if you want to attain jhana, so we have to work hard with our mind. To attain jhana, we need a lot of mindfulness, a lot of concentration, a lot of effort, and a lot of wisdom, and also a lot of what another one is saying. So we all these are determination. Actually, we have 5 factors. Okay, so so what I want to say is to attain jhanas, to attain supramundane consciousness. So we have to work hard with the mind, not fighters, right? So therefore, so when we want to attain jhana, so we have to use our this one, mental process, right? So here, the process of attaining jhana. So as usual, we have the bhavanga. People want to use like continuous, right? Like continuous. Then, if the mind process is going to happen, the bhavanga have to stop. Then bhavanga vibrate and stop. Arrest bhavanga. Then after that, mind or advancing. So actually, mind tend to the object. Here, the object means we are meditating on breathing object, right? Breathing object. So the mind tend to breathing object. So that's called mind or advancing. Mind or advancing. So after so practicing. So while we are practicing, before we attain jhana, all these are called, as a Buddhojana, it will be wholesome, beautiful consciousness, right? Wholesome, beautiful consciousness. Then if the Buddha or Vichika Buddha Arahant, then there will be functional consciousness, sincere functional consciousness, right? But now, going to attain jhana, the moment, here, the Rupakati show very beautifully. So after mind or advancing, from here to facing. So this is called connected with sincere consciousness. Sincere consciousness. It is just sincere level, not rupa, not 5 material level, right? So here, facing me, we call it apana in Pali, apana. Apana means, so we are practicing breathing object, right? Breathing object. So we are going to attain jhana. Then we are practicing a lot of bhavanga. So a lot of bhavanga means here, sincere wholesome consciousness or sincere functional consciousness. Before we attain jhana, there is one mind moment. So it is called Kudrabu in Pali. Actually, in the 4th chapter, we have to learn. Kudrabu means, if we give a simple example, it's just like a border area or immigration, I would say. So when we want to cross Malaysia, so you have to cross the immigration, right? Actually here, the facing is just like an immigration. So from Singapore to Malaysia, right? Malaysia. So you fixed. So fix means you fix your mind to one object. One object means now we are meditating, breathing meditation, breathing object. So our mind fixed to one object. Very stable, right? So therefore, it's facing me apana. Then after that, jhana. All these are jhana. So here, the moment you are attaining jhana, your mind is stable, very stable. But within jhana, you're very active. Your mind is very active, full of mindfulness, full of concentrations, and full of pleasure, and full of rapture. Later, actually, even last week we learned 5 mental factors, right? 5 mental factors. Actually, 5 mental, we talk about only main mental factors. So we have a lot of mental factors within the jhana, but only 5 mental factors are prominent. So therefore, they are called jhana factors. Jhananga in Pali, right? Jhananga in Pali. So here, after facing, your mind is focused only one object. So when you are practicing breathing meditation, your mind fits to breathing. So when you're practicing kasina meditation, your mind fits to kasina taste, right? So therefore, the mind at the time is very stable one, not moving. So that is how you attain jhana. Then after that, you will come out from jhana. As usual, you will have bhavanga. When you want to attain jhana again, have to try, right? And there will be minor advancing, and in jhana, then phasing and jhana, right?
During the time that you have a jhana, do you still have a feeling of the body like numbness, twisting or you still have that feeling or no more?
By that time, when you attain jhana, there is no painful feeling. There's no painful feeling. Actually, your sense door, as I said, five door, your five doors are shut down. So actually, Ajahn Brahm said like that. But of course, I think by that time you attain jhana, especially regarding with the body. I think later I will show you the simile what the Buddha showed. So if we look at that one, so the Buddha just said, by that time you attain the first jhana, you do not have any sensory perception. That means you don't have, your eye is not walking, even though you open your eye. Your ear is not walking, nose not walking, tongues not walking, and the body also not walking. But I can say that there is no feeling of pain or numbness or anything. Nothing. So when we look at the jhana factor, we have the rapture and pleasure. So your mind is full of rapture and joy and happiness by that time. So if those mental factors fail in your mind, there is no painful feeling. You do not notice. Actually here, numbness and painful feeling in your body, all these are sensory perception. So therefore, by the time you attain the first jhana, so there is no sensory perception. Even somebody touch you, of course, you will not know it if you are in a deep jhana. But especially in the first jhana, it's very subtle one. So therefore, the Buddha said that the noise is a tone to the first jhana, right? If somebody touch you, and if you are in the first jhana, you will likely to know it, right? Because touch is very powerful. But the Sutta said that even you hear noise, it will disturb or destroy your jhana. Even the listening, right? The noise. No one to say that somebody touch you. Or of course, when you are in deep jhana, especially in the fourth jhana, maybe you may not know it. Even somebody touching, right? Touching. So that means, so regarding with the painful feeling and numbness, I'm sure that no such things. Because all these are sensory perception in your body, right? Sensory perceptions. So actually here, last week I already taught that, maybe I have written this one. One by one I will go, right? The general features of the first jhana. I think after you learn this one, you will understand, right? So general features of the first jhana. Number one, all hindrances are burned out at the moment of attaining the first jhana. So as you know, we have 5 hindrances. So the first one is sensory desire. You want to eat, right? Then you want to touch with something, and you want to hear. All these are sensory desire. The moment you attain jhana, no such desire. right? And second one is awe. Awe means, so if you have numbness in your body, you awe. You don't like it, right? You don't like it. Then if you hear the mosquito is flying, making a lot of noise, right? Awe in your mind. So actually these are hindrances to attain jhana, right? Another one is tinameda, torpor and sloth and torpor. So by the time you attain jhana, no such a thing. Your mind is alert. Even no bhavanga, right? Even no bhavanga. Another one is remorse and restlessness. So, of course, before you attain jhana, you may have those things. But the moment you attain jhana, no, ban out all the things, right? But the last one is doubt. You doubt about the practice. So you doubt that. So these jhana can be attained by me, right? Like this. Is it possible to attain such one? Doubt, right? Doubt about the teachers. You doubt about the Buddha. Then the teachings and the Sangha. Here Sangha means someone who realizes the jhana. Is there anyone who attained those, higher level of spirituality, right? Spirituality. You doubt about that. And also your training. Is it possible for me to attain those jhanas? These are doubt, right? So as long as as long as you have 5 hindrances, you cannot attain the first jhana. So the moment you are in jhana, those 5 hindrances cannot arise. So therefore, you do not notice numbness. You do not notice bodily pain, right? For that reason, in your jhana, you can sit for a long, long time, right? The Buddha sit after the Buddha attained enlightenment. The Buddha sit underneath the Bodhi tree for 7 days, right? For 7 days, without eating anything, And tradition said that the Buddha stayed nearby the Bodhi tree without eating anything for 47 days. It is really, I think it's really amazing to know such a thing, right? It is possible, it's really possible. Not because of the Buddha, but because of the power of the mind, right? Power of the mind. Sometimes when you are very happy, no hungry, you are not eating, right? Power of the mind, right? So, the moment we attain jhana, no 5 hindrances. So in this way, the meditator feels blissful peace and happiness, which transcends sensory perception. So that means you do not know that your body is touching something, or your body, somebody is coming and touch to you. You do not know it. No sensory perception, right? But of course, if somebody touch you, it will be a danger for the meditation, the jhana. Very powerful, right? Touching is very powerful. Even the noise, as I said, noise is very powerful, right? So therefore, the first feature of the first jhana is there's no 5 hindrances. Then, together with the thought, so we have learned previous week, we take up a gentle movement of the mind to the objects of meditation. Here, object of meditation means breathing, right? So usually, sometimes you can move your meditation object from breathe to the light as well. Sometimes, some meditator, while they are meditating, breathing, right? Breathing meditation. So they may have a light in their mind's eye. The light. So actually we can also focus on that light as well. Based on that light, then you can take jhana as well, right? So the same meditation master suggested to do so. But of course, you can also focus your mind on the breathing as well, right? Breathing as well. So anyway, together with the thought, that means your mind is moving. So as I said, the nature of vitaka, the nature of thought is, so our mind, so vitaka bring a lot of object, right? So while we are sitting, vitaka bring to your family, vitaka bring some food, vitaka bring something, right? Like this. Our mind is very quick, right? Vitaka is bringing a lot of object. If vitaka is bringing a lot of object, our mind is not peaceful. For that reason, if we have a lot of thought, a lot of thinking, a lot of vitaka, our mind is restless, right? Restless. That reason, so here we are meditating on one object, breathing meditation. We're trying to bring the vitaka brain to the breathing object. Then our mind goes somewhere else, then bring back, goes somewhere else, bring back. So finally, the mind stay near, at least near the breathing object, the small areas of breathing object, right? So if we are meditating on the light, powerful light, then our mind stay on the light, just focus on the light, not moving anywhere, right? By that time, together with the thought here means not very subtle one, a very subtle one, the movement, trying to move mind. Actually, mind is not going anywhere, but still move to the object. Movement, very small movement, right? A gentle movement to the objects of meditation. So by that time, so that will be the first jhana. Stillness with a little bit of movement, or whether or the mind caused by the thought. Actually, even though we are in jhana, there is instability in our mind because of thought. Actually, the thought vitaka is very important to attain the first jhana, that because of him create instability in our mind. Because you know that the nature of vitaka is movement, right? Movement. So he trying to move the mind to the object, trying to move the mind, bring the mind to the object, bring the mind to the object. So as I said last week, we have a story, a simile regarding with the vitaka, right? A close friend of the king bring the villager to the king, right? So actually the villager is very familiar with the king now. He don't need any person nearby. So he went to talk to the king, a very secret one. But the other guy is sitting nearby. So he doesn't like it. So when you are practicing the first jhana, so that movement make you a problem. You know that because of that thought, that movement, a gentle movement, your mind is not stable, a little bit shaken, right? We call it wape, right? Wape. The wape of the mind can cause falling from the jhana, especially because of noises. Because the Sutta said that the noise is a turn to the first jhana. You're sitting in the Mangala Vihara Shrine Hall. You attain entering the first jhana. People came and disturb you, right? And they make a lot of noise. Then you fall from the jhana. Especially because of the thought. As you know, our thought initially bring in to the meditation of breathing. But somebody come and talk. Then that vitaka bring your mind to the noise. So therefore, the thought, the movement, that movement is dangerous, right? Dangerous to go to next level, to go to next level. So therefore, when you want to attain second jhana, you have to remove that thought by trying to developing a stronger concentration, a stronger samadhi, right? So if you develop a concentration, you will be able to remove that thought, vitakka, right? Vitakka. The rapture, pleasure, born of seclusion, pervade both physical and mental body. So this is the most important feature in the first jhana. Not only the first jhana, the first three jhanas, right? Rapture, happiness, pleasure in your mind. So why even you are sitting for 5 hours or 10 hours, no numbness, no painful, no pain in your body, because by the time you attain jhana, no sensory perception, no thinking about bodily touch, right? Nothing. Full of rapture and full of pleasure. But that is born of seclusion. Seclusion means no unwholesome deed, no unwholesome consciousness, no 5 hindrances. 5 hindrances. Because of the born of seclusion means because of not having 5 hindrances, because of not having unwholesome actions, unwholesome consciousness. So you have a rapture and pleasure. But so these two qualities pervade the whole body. But Pali kind of mentions just kaya. But some teachers, they want to take as a mental kaya, mental body. But some want to take both mental and physical. But for the time being, so I want to use both physical and mental body. But I need to read the sutta again. So actually about jhana will be clarified in details in my sutta study class. So if you want to know more about jhana in details, you can come to sutta study class. Because in the sutta study class, we use the suttas. The suttas are evidence to show, right? To show. But here we have two options, two opinions or two views. Some meditation masters, they say both physical and mental body. But some say not physical one. It is just mental body. Just mental body, right? So actually I can't decide, because when you look at the Pali Canon, it looks like both physical and mental, right? But when we look at the sensory perception, right? Karma sanya. Actually, this one was a very tricky one. So karma sanya means that is connected with we have a sense sphere. We have 54 sense sphere consciousness, right? 54 sense sphere consciousness. We can take it as this is the rapture and happiness are nothing to do with 54 type of consciousness. But it can be connected with the body, right? But don't know yet, maybe have to clarify later. But for the time being, it pervades both physical and mental body. So as you know, the mind and body are connected, right? If the mind is peaceful, if the mind is full of rapture and pleasure, the body also feel it, right? Body also feel it. I think that both physical and mental body is much better. Actually, rapture and pleasure are the most important features. The most important features of the first jhana. Not only the first jhana, second and third jhana as well, right? Second and third jhana as well. Any question? Yeah, loving kindness meditation can produce a fourth jhana. Fourth jhana. According to Abhidhamma, we have 5 divisions, right? 5 types of jhana. So when you practice loving kindness meditations, it will produce 4 jhana, up to 4 jhana. Not the fifth one. Not fifth one. But according to Sutta Pitaka, we have 4 types, right? 4 jhana. So when you practice loving kindness meditation, it produces only that jhana, right? That jhana. Okay?
So this loving kindness is called exactly what? Just like you always say, maybe loving this loving kindness, that's about or more than.
Actually, in the suttas, I think it is mentioned that so you have to fill with loving kindness in your mind. So when you think about all the beings living in the East, not just how to say chanting with your mouth. So by the time you are thinking about all the beings in the East direction, filled with loving kindness. All the beings, no limit, no limit. You don't have to limit. How to say the rat or mosquito. Have to include all. So therefore, it is called Appamanya, right? Appamanya, no limit, no limit. You don't have to limit. You radiate loving kindness only to Singaporean. No other people like this, right? It's not a real metta according to Buddhist teaching, right?
Then how long does it have to do? How often have to do? What are the mindset that you're doing? Like keep thinking, or you do, or you just keep thinking of that? Or how?
So as you know, we have the bodily action and verbal action and mental action, right? So actually here, developing loving kindness means mental action. But if you are full of compassion and full of loving kindness, you will react with your body, with your speech as well. First, we have to develop our compassion and loving kindness in the mind. So actually what we understand is I don't know Singaporean, but Burmese Buddhist. So here, radiating loving kindness means sending loving kindness to the people. I send loving kindness to you. Like this. Actually, it's not like this. Developing loving kindness in our mind. In our mind. So if we have loving kindness and compassion in our mind, whatever we do, whatever we speak, will be good things, right? Good things. So yesterday I'm very happy that one of our old devotees taught to me that I'm happy to meet you because you're always smiling. Actually, I'm very happy because actually I must say that my mind is not that good. I told her that sometimes I do not smile. You know, smiling is not easy to do, but we have to practice, right? To practice. Even though we are angry, if you can smile, it's good, right? It's good. Why not? So we can try actually smiling. Not easy. Actually, have to practice, right? So to keep his mind to somebody, you must have certain level of compassion or loving kindness, right? So if you have ill will or anger in your mind, you cannot smile, right? You cannot smile. So that is very important things. Anyway, I'm very happy yesterday. So I told her that I'm not that good. So anyway, I'm to try my best. So here, actually, now I will say again, if you want to know loving kindness meditations, you still have a time. Because I've been teaching meditation subject in Sutta study class. So this will be the last year. So I've been teaching since 2005. That means 3 years. So I teach meditation 3 years, especially quoting the suttas. Actually, most of them are not my idea, from the sutras. So if you want to know about jhana, so I will quote a lot of sutras, right? So in this way, so you can go to the sutra, you can read by yourself, right? Then you can decide whether what I say is logical or illogical, right? It's a very important one. Oh, okay. Thursday. Okay. Vichara. Oh, we have already explained. I will come back later. Vichara, right? Okay. So actually, these are general features of the first jhana. I write it based on the explanation from the sutta, right? So here, so the first jhana in the Abhidhamma more and the first jhana in the sutta more are the same, right? Are the same. Okay, the second jhana in Abhidhamma. Okay.
Explain one pointedness.
Sorry?
One pointedness in the jhana.
Oh, already explained last week. One pointedness is actually here, and the word is very beautiful. Ekagata, right? Ekagata is one pointedness of the mind. So eka means one. Eka means the higher point of something. The higher point of our temple. The higher point of a mountain is called eka. So that means the moment you attain the first jhana, so this is the higher point of your mind. Higher point of your concentrations, right? Concentration. For that reason, so if you are entering jhana for a long time, the mind stay in the height, right? In the morning you will see that very stable height. So it called it power, ekagata. So here, ekagata means normally our mind taking a lot of things, a lot of objects, right? But the moment you attain jhana, you direct your mind only one object. Eka, one, right? Eka, so therefore, some scholars said that take it eka as the object. Eka means one, eka means the object. So the moment you attain jhana, your mind direct to the one object, breathing meditation, right? Breathing object. That is called ekagata, right? Ekagata. Now second jhana in Abhidhamma. In the second jhana, mindfulness is more stable and the level of the mind is reduced to almost nothing. So as you know, in the first jhana, the thought is, making a little bit shaking, right? Well-being, shaking. Because of movement of the mind is not stable yet, right? Not stable yet. Then to try to stable your mind, so you have to develop more concentrations, more one-pointedness. You have to develop mindfulness. You have to develop mindfulness. In this way, the concentration is produced, right? Concentration is produced. So by the time your concentration is deeper and deeper, the level of the mind reduced to lesser and lesser, right? The moment you attain jhana, second jhana, just a little bit of, still shaking, but no level of the mind, right? So therefore, the mind is mindfulness. The mind is more stable, and level of the mind is reduced to almost none. Yet, vichara here, examination. Vichara, examination. Hold on and hover over the objects of meditation. So actually, when we just look at the translation of vichara, you may not understand the meaning. For that reason, we have to explain that. So last week I explained with the simile, right? Simile of a flower in bee, right? Bee. So a bee want to take honey, what is it? Huh? Pollen, sorry. Oh, thank you. Pollen. So you want to take pollen from a flower, right? And he dive into the flower. Diving of a bee is, how to say, look like a similar to Vipassana. Vipassana bring the mind to the object, right? So here, flower is the object of meditation, breathing, right? So Vipassana bring tight. Then when the bee arrive nearby the flowers, hover over it, right? Hover over it. Just like that, vichara, examine the object and hold the object, stick to the object. So actually less movement, but stay, right? If you hold something, suppose if you hold something, then a cup of, teacup. If you are holding teacup, then there will be shaking. You're holding it, right? You're holding to the cup. But if you put it on the table, the cup is not moving, stable. You put it on the table, the teacup is not moving. The water in the teacup, not moving. Because here, vichara, trying to hold the object, breathing, trying to examine the object, and trying to hover. Actually, this is a metaphorical hovering, right? Hovering, trying to examine, trying to take it. So therefore, we need to let go. We need to let go. It's a kind of attachment. I would say, kind of attachment, right? So, vichara, hold on and hover over the objects of meditation, but it cannot cause instability. But still a little bit of movement, right? But not still, cannot make any instability of the mind. So therefore, second jhana is without vitakka, but the small amount of vichara. Vichara also type of shaking, but less shaking, right? Not like a vitakka. Vitakka, dive into the flower. It be diving into the flower, moving, right? Moving, not stable. But vichara trying to hover, right? Over the flower, getting stable. The moment you take jhana, you getting stable. Today I forgot to explain about example. Later I will do it. So this second jhana, from the four division of Abhidhamma jhana model, is mentioned in many sutta as well. So the reason is we have two model, Abhidhamma model and sutta model, right? In Abhidhamma, we have 5 jhanas. In suttas, we have 4 jhanas officially. But as you know, I always said that Abhidhamma is complement of the Sutta Pitaka. Abhidhamma Pitaka trying to clarify the teaching from Sutta Pitaka. So actually, some of my friends, not everyone, especially who are teaching academic. So I always tell them, Abhidhamma is the commentary of Sutta Pitaka. They do not like it. Because Abhidhamma clarifying the suttas, right? So here also, the sutta mention only 4 jhana. But Abhidhamma trying to clarify, became 5 jhana, right? Actually, it is mentioned in many suttas as well. But take it here, the first one. So the Buddha said, actually this is from Majjhima Nikaya, sutta number 128. So it's the Upagilesa Sutta. Upagilesa means defilements. Actually in that sutta, the Buddha is explaining to Venerable Anuruddha why he became the Buddha. So before he attained the Buddha, he practiced a lot, right? That he tried to practice a lot of jhana. So he explained this way: Anurodha, I developed concentration without thought, but with examination only. So this is second jhana in Abhidhamma, right? Actually, what I want to say is, Abhidhamma, Sotapiṭaka officially mentioned 4 jhana, but in some sutras, so the Buddha talk about 5 jhana. So Abhidhamma take them as a Abhidhamma more, right? So actually, Abhidhamma is not sometimes, of course, sometimes maybe against teaching from the sutta, but most of the time relevant to the suttas. So therefore, it is commentary on the Sutta Pitaka. So you can read a lot of suttas, right? So therefore, so this second jhana from Abhidhamma more is mentioned in many suttas as well. Second jhana, wholesome consciousness, together with examination, vichara, rapture, piti, pleasure, sukha, and one-pointedness, ekagata. So actually here, I forgot to make a note regarding with the how we can master. But yesterday, the uncle told me whether I will teach mastery of the jhana. But I forgot to take note this one. So we have 5 factors of to master one jhana. Now we already attained the first jhana, right? So anyway, in theory. So to master the first jhana, we have to do a lot. So we have to review our attainment. So while we are in jhana, then you notice that there are 5 prominent middle factors. So they are called jhana factors, right? The thought direct the vitakka, direct the mind to the object. Vichara, trying to examine, trying to hold on it, right? The piti, it delight in the meditation object, joy and rapture in the meditation object. The pleasure, sukha, pleasure, bodily and physically and mentally, right? A pleasure in your mind. Then ekagata, one-pointedness of the mind. By that time, your mind is focused and fixed and locked the one object, breathing, right? As I said, not only breathing, some people may fix their mind to the light, right? To the light. So you have to try to review your attainment, right? So I think that when I'm explaining based on breathing meditation. So when I explain immaterial jhana, so I will use another method, so that actually immaterial jhana cannot explain with this one, with the breathing meditation. Because I think it's good to know breathing meditation because we are always practicing, right? This is the most popular meditation method. So therefore I use breathing meditation method to explain jhana. So by that time I will teach mastery of the jhana, right? Forgot it. So now we are in second jhana. Here, second jhana, no thought at all. A thought jhana, thought jhana in Abhidhamma. What is it? Oh, actually I forgot this one. This one I forgot about it, huh? Forget. Second jhana. Oh, of course, is this one no need to explain because in the suttas, the first jhana is divided into 2 in Abhidhamma model, right? the first jhana in Sutta mode became the first and second jhana in Abhidhamma mode, right? So actually I forgot. Now we are going to the third jhana. In Abhidhamma, moral third jhana, wholesome consciousness together with the rapture and pleasure and one-pointedness. That is the third jhana in Abhidhamma mode. So here there is no thought and examination, right? No thought and examination. So therefore, the third jhana from Abhidhamma mode is the second jhana from Sutta mode. Second jhana in Suttas. The thought and examination are attuned to the second jhana. They are dangerous to go the next level. So if you are in the first jhana, you have thought and examination. So that they make your mind unstable, shaking. For that reason, these two middle factors are very dangerous. A danger to go to next level. So a thought and examinations are turned to the second jhana. For one who has attained second jhana, thought and examination have ceased. The same thing, right? The same thing. I think before I go to third jhana, I want to explain the simile, what the Buddha explained in the Digha Nikaya. So actually, when we want to learn about jhana, we have to go to Samanyaphala Sutta and Vata Sutta. So in those sutta, the Buddha explained all the details about jhanas together with the simile. So by reading and by listening, understanding the simile, and we understand more about the jhana, the nature of the jhana, right? And the nature of the first jhana, the Buddha explained with the simile of Suppanda. Actually, Suppanda is in ancient time. They normally use a kind of clay to use as a Suppanda, and to make it a ball, not clay, so they have to use water, right? They have to use water. Without water, they cannot make a ball of the clay, right? So just like that, when you make a ball of clay as a soap pounder, you need to use water. Without moisture, you cannot get a ball of clay, right? It will tremble. It will break into a part. According to Abhidhamma, so the temple is solid. The tables are solid. Your body is solid because of moisture, because of motion. Really, not motion. Sorry. In 5 great elements, and then water element. Because of water element, so water element stick the object in one, right? If less water element, the object will break into a part, right? Break into a part. So here also, the Buddha gives a simile of a ball of clay. So that used as a suppounder. So without moisture, that ball of clay will break into a part. By the time you attain the first jhana, you have full of rapture, full of joy, and full of delight in the meditation object. At the same time, your body and mind is very pleasure, and your happiness in your mind. That happiness in your mind go to the body as well. So there is no place where there is no happiness and no rapture. So therefore, I said that so the main feature of the first jhana is the rapture and happiness, the rapture and pleasure. So no pain at all, right? No pain at all. So that is the nature of second jhana. Sorry, the first jhana. Now we are going to learn second jhana, right? Second jhana in Sutta Pitaka. So here, to attain second jhana, you have to remove or you have to abandon thought and examination. You cannot remove at once. So what you have to do is you have to develop concentrations through mindfulness. So you're mindful, you're trying to mindful. So when you're practicing breathing meditation on the breath, when you are practicing, when you are focusing on the light, so you focus the light, right? So in this way, you develop mindfulness. So when you are mindful, automatically, you know that you are not holding the object. Vitakami, holding, trying to hold the object. Do not let go of the object. You think that if you let go, your concentration will fall apart. No confidence. No confidence. You do not know it, right? Of course, if you are learning, you will know it. Even you do not hold the meditation object, your mind will be concentrated. You will have a one-pointedness of the mind. But you think that by not holding, by not examining, by not staying in the nearby, so you think that your concentration will fall down, right? But you do not have confidence. And then when we learn about second jhana from Sutta Pitaka, you will know it. You will know it. So therefore, the thought and examinations are the danger of the second jhana. So if you want to attain second jhana, the moment you attain second jhana, that means you do not have thought and examination. It's very rare, very weird. Because therefore it is called Uttari Manosa Dhamma. The Dhamma that are higher than the Dhamma that the people are practicing. So these are higher teachings, higher consciousness. So that have nothing to do with sense sphere consciousness, right? Higher one. So therefore, beyond our knowledge, right? Beyond our knowledge. In one of the sutta, the Buddha talked about 4 things that we cannot ponder upon. One of them is the minor a person who is in jhana, very difficult, because the process is very weird. Everything is different from what we think, right? Even on the breathing, even the light is totally different. It is the bliss when you attain jhana is much more on the pleasant, much more pleasurable than the enjoyment what we are enjoying with the 5 senses, right? 5 senses, totally different, right? Totally different. Second jhana in Sutta Pitaka. So with the subsiding of thought and examination, vitaka and visara, try to subside, right? And he enters and dwells in the second jhana, which has internal placidity. Sampasadana. The moment you have thought and examination in your mind, of course your mind is clear, your mind is crystal clear. But when you keep on practicing the first jhana, you later know that the thought and examination create instability in your mind. So you want stability of the mind, right? Normally we can compare just like when you are kindergarten, you want to go up next level, right? Primary, right? Primary. But when you are in primary, you don't want to go back to kindergarten. Then from primary to secondary, then junior college, right? Then college. But even after you attain degree, then you go to work, you don't want to go back to the university. So just like that, right? We don't want something we already experienced. We want better things, right? Just like that. So when you are practicing, keep on practicing the first jhana, you will say know that. So the element, mental element, or the movement, a mental element, mental factor or mental element that hold the meditation object, make shaking your mind. Shaking your mind. For that reason, you know that you need to increase your concentrations. You need to develop your mindfulness. In that way, you will be able to discard or remove those two mental factors, right? So therefore, subsiding all thought and examination, he enter and dwells in second jhana, which has internal placidity. So as I said, so the moment you attain the first jhana in certain method, together with thought and examination. So examination hold, right? Hold the object. You don't dare to let go. You think that if you let go that object, so you will fall from the jhana. You do not have confidence or clarity of the mind in your mind. But the moment you attain second jhana, you are full of confidence. You know that even you let go that meditation object, you will still have a rapture and pleasure in your mind, right? By that time, even the meditation object will disappear, may disappear, right? May or may not. And the light may even disappear. The rapture and pleasure will arise. So these are main characteristic features of the first and second jhana in Sutta method, and the first, second, and third jhana in Abhidhamma model, right? So now you have confidence, internal placidity in your mind. You have confidence, full of confidence. So therefore you let go even examination, vichara. Unification of the mind. So your mind is very powerful. One pointedness of the mind. So all your mind united in one object. One object means it can be breathing object. It can be the light, or it can be your feeling. Feeling means rapture and pleasure, right? Rapture and pleasure. So unification of the mind that consists of rapture and pleasure. Here, bone of concentration, very important one. Bone of concentrations. So concentrations, one pointedness of the mind is very powerful. So therefore, the Buddha said that so it is very hard to think about the mind of meditator who is in jhana. It's one of the, very, for that reason the Buddha said that Attakavachara. You cannot think with the logic. You cannot think with the logic. It's beyond the logic, right? Beyond the logic. So in the quality of the Dhamma, the Buddha said that. So we can experience. The white people can experience. Wise people can experience themselves, right? So I cannot hand over my jhana experience to you. I cannot hand over my nibbana experience to you, right? So therefore, I think it's very the mind of passing in the jhana, very difficult to think, right? Beyond logic, right? Logically, we know that if a person do not breathe in, right, and die. Normally, the daughter will feel it here, right? No breathing, die. But here, even no breathing, right, can survive. So therefore, beyond the logic, Attakavachara.
So you say no no breathing. So how does Buddha come back? Without breathing, how he come back thereafter? I wonder how he come back.
So therefore, beyond the logic. Beyond the logic, right? So no breathing, of course. Very, how to say, the mind movement at the time is very settled, right? Very settled. Very settled. We can survive even breathing without breathing. Without breathing. Okay.
How long a person can be in jhana?
Sorry?
A person in jhana without food is Buddha said a period. How long is the period then?
Oh, period.
A person in jhana, then
Good question. A good question. As a human being, so it is said that we can survive 7 days without eating, right? It is a normal thing. For that reason, Pali, especially commentary, mentioned that so we can be in jhana for 7 days. But beyond 7 days, you can do that, but you are harming your body. You do not know whether you can take it or not. So normally, whether you are in jhana or whether you are in higher spiritual achievement, so you normally experience only 7 days. But as a deva, you can do more. As a Brahma, you can do more, right? A million and billions of years you can do in jhana. It depends how, you know. So therefore, the RAM. So let's say human beings, 7 days, right? So we can survive 7 days without eating anything. But the Buddha stayed 47 days near the body, body trees, near the body trees. Sometimes, therefore, the mind of a person in jhana, very, beyond logic, right? Here, so born of concentration, rapture and pleasure, right? Without thought and examination. This is a second jhana from Sodapidika. Actually, this second jhana is third jhana in Abhidhamma model, right? Abhidhamma model. So therefore, without thought and examination. But you have full of confidence that even you let go meditation object. Even you let go meditation object. So normally we are not there to let go our breathing, right? So people said that, Zen meditators said that, so within their meditation, no breathing at all. And they're afraid that they will die. They will breathe again, right? No confidence, no internal placidity. Because they still have their concentration, their mindfulness is not powerful enough, right? For that reason, no confidence. So they're afraid that without breathing they will die. Sensory perception, right? Sensory perception. Okay, any question? Actually, you kind of okay.
First jhana, and when you get out of the jhana, it doesn't mean that you can come back to the first jhana anytime. Just like Lokapala, you won't backslide, but for first jhana, will you backslide? To attain the first jhana, then the next round, maybe months and months later, will you give back your first jhana?
For that reason, we need to use mastery, fight mastery. So you have to, suppose you attain the first jhana last night, right? Then you may not be able to do it today. But you may have to try again. Then you have to master, and you have to review your achievement. You have to examine the 5 jhana factors. Actually, it is said that after you attain jhanas, so your experience are really clear to you, even after you, just like you go to Thailand for holiday. Then when you come back, you can review your experience, just like that. Actually, jhana experience must be more than, more clear to you. Just giving the example, right? So that means last night you attained the first jhana for 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes, suppose. Actually, it is said that after you attain the first jhana for the first time, only one mind moment you drop from the jhana. Just like a baby trying to run. Then at the click, fall down. Cannot control his body, right? Not just like a deaf person. Then at the first attempt, according to Abhidhamma model, right? According to Abhidhamma model. Then after one mind moment, drop from the jhana. So you know that is the first jhana. Then trying again to attain the first jhana again. Then you can stay for 10 minutes. And you can stay for 20 minutes. You can extend. Good. You have to try, right? You have to try. Then after come out from the jhana, you try to review your experiences. So when you do that, you fall from concentration. When you remove this one, your mindfulness is strengthened like this. You yourself know it. But of course, when you are taking suggestion from experienced meditation masters, the best, of course, the best. So like this, you have to do a lot of things. Then you're trying to determine that. So you were trying to attain jhana for 20 minutes or 1 hour, or you will sit down for 2 hours in jhana like this. You have to determine. Of course, at the first time, just like a practicing, riding the bicycle, right? The baby, they have to try hard, right? Try hard. But later on, of course, when we are very young, we cannot walk, right? We cannot walk. So our mother and father have to practice, have to go again and again, fall down, go again and again, fall down. But right now, can you fall down? Very difficult. You master walking, right? Master in walking, just like that. But maybe next when I'm teaching immaterial jhana, I will talk 5 type of mastery of the jhana, right? Jhana. Question? Then no question, then I have to teach another 50 minutes, right? Okay, and then let's teach. The 4th jhana in Abhidhamma, the 4th jhana, wholesome consciousness, together with pleasure, sukha, and one-pointedness, ekaggata. Here, there is no vitaka, vichara, as well as piti, rapture, no rapture, right? The 4th jhana from Abhidhamma model is the 3rd jhana from Sutta Pitaka. So I think the best way to learn about jhana is reading the suttas. So if you understand the passages, the line from the sutta, you understand about jhana. If you combine the knowledge from the sutta with your own experience, then you will understand better, right? So here, the rapture is returned to the 3rd jhana. Another sutta, for one who has attained the 3rd jhana, rapture has ceased. So that means as long as you still have a rapture, you do not attain 3rd jhana, right? In the 3rd jhana, there's no rapture. But if you still have rapture in your mind, you cannot go up next level. You cannot go up. It is a danger for you, for your progress, right? For your progress. Normally, in the 52 middle factor, we have to learn piti again. But the piti in the middle factor is general, in general. This is talking about jhana piti. It's a higher one, higher one. The rapture of joy. So rapture is a delight or a pleasurable interest in the objects of meditation. That is a bone of rock-like stillness. The rocky mountain, right, cannot be shaken by the wind. So just like that, so when you are in that jhana, your mind is stable. I think by that time, even somebody touch you, I think you will not fall from. I think so, but it's just my no pain at all, no numbness at all, no stiffness at all, right? Because you know the rapture is very important. Rapture or delight or joy. So I'm happy that you still have a delight in the class, in the lessons. Without delight or without joy, you cannot come, right? Easy. Anything, right? So in meditation as well. So when you have experienced rapture, that you are willing to practice by yourself, right? By yourself. So this is a driving force to go further. But so when we want to go from the to the jhana, the rapture is danger for you. Dangerful. The reason is that it is compared with the balloon put on the water. As you know, the balloon is likely to start even because of a light breeze. Imagine that you put a balloon in the sea, in the nearby in the Malayan, right? So there are a lot of volume, right? Even a light breeze, the volume will move, right? Just like that. So in the first and second and third jhana, we have a rapture, a joy, a delight in the meditation object. But up to there, good, it's good. It is a driving factor to attain jhana. Because of rapture, because of joy in the meditation object, you are keep on practicing meditation. But when you are practicing that jhana again and again, you know that the rapture or joy or delight is a danger to go next level. It's shaking your concentration, shaking your mind. Normally, it's compared that when you use your camera, but you cannot see at the first time, you cannot see clearly, right? But when you look at focus, right, you can see the object far away very clearly. Just like that, you know, the rapture, the delight and joy, the excitement, I can compare with the excitement, right? So when you are too excited, you cannot focus. Your mind is shaking, right? Shaking. Suppose now there is a text message in your telephone. One of your family members is testing, right? You won 2.5 million lottery. What will happen? A lot of excitement, right? Excitement here. But you cannot focus mind teaching. That is the nature of piti, right? The nature of joy in your mind. So here, excitement. When you want to go next level, that excitement or joy is a blocking stone on your way. For that reason, so you have to remove rapture. So rapture is a tone to the third jhana in Sutta Mode. A rapture is a tone to the fourth jhana in Abhidhamma Mode, right? We have 5 grades of rapture. I think that no time to go this one, so I think this one I have to explain in detail so that you can compare your own experience in meditations. So these are the experience So during your meditation, right? Okay, any question? I don't know. Okay, let's close our class.
Sa